Kev,
Yeah.
are we idiots? Are we idiots for waking up every day and going to work? Is everyone listening to this? Are they idiots for getting in their cars and commuting 30 minutes a day, sometimes an hour, just to go to a job that slowly sucks the soul out of them a little bit more every day? Are we idiots?
Yeah. I mean, obviously we're doing something wrong, because Ben can sit there and not play a single game for the Sixers and force his way out and still get paid for it. So at least a portion of it. I mean, we do not know the terms of the settlement, right? So
Do you think we ever will?
um,
I do.
I think Clutch will leak it. Yeah, because
Okay.
it's positive for them, right? I mean, it makes them look good. Hey, our client got X amount of dollars back or something. So it behooves them to put that
True.
information out there for sure. I'm sure they're probably leaking it already, but actually, I'm
Definitely
surprised it hasn't come out already.
yeah, you're right. I mean, definitely kind of maybe, let the dust settle a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like week one of the NFL season, like a nice little Friday, maybe a nice little Sunday around like
Yeah.
1:30. The Eagles are playing. We get the settlement details and whatnot. A source tells me close to the Sixers or Clutch that this was the settlement. Two things here. Obviously, an undisclosed amount of the $20 million, and there's obviously a confidentiality agreement. It wasn't necessarily they didn't want to go to court, so it was a settlement. There's two things I kind of look at it is the Sixers probably kind of just wanted to wipe their hands clean of Ben Simmons. I'm sure Clutch wanted to wipe their hands clean of the Sixers, move on. Everybody's kind of happy, And then another thing is the players are going to get absolutely whooped in the next CBA if this stuff keeps happening. Because I hope you like guaranteed contracts, because that might be out the window next time the CBA needs to get negotiated.
Yeah, no, those are good points. I mean, and that's like you kind of hit on the macro level importance of this. I think people who were saying, because I read a lot of articles about this where people were saying, well, now the Sixers are done with Ben and Ben's done with the Sixers and we can all move on. And I mean, that's great, but that's not really what we were looking at here. We were looking at like, what does this mean, for the rest of the NBA? Because people were watching this case very closely. You're setting a precedent here, in the era of player empowerment. Were we going to get even more of a another situation that just went in a player's favor where he was able to sit out and not play a single game for his team and force a trade out and still get paid for it, still get paid a portion of that. That's ultimately what ended up happening. I think everybody probably thought this was going to go to arbitration. It seemed like the Sixers had a slam dunk case here, right? I mean, guy got kicked out of practice, claimed he had mental health issues. They couldn't work out an agreement with him and his doctors, and then they ultimately traded him, and he didn't play a single game for him. So it seemed like the Sixers, at least based on what we were able to observe from afar, it seemed like they would have come out looking pretty good in arbitration, right? Now, again, we don't know the terms of the settlement, man. I don't know how much money went to back to Ben Simmons. I don't know. There could always be the possibility that the Sixers screwed something up here. Maybe there was a procedural mistake. Maybe they did something with the escrow that was against the CBA, or maybe, Clutch identified like a little crack in the armor here. And so they felt like maybe they had a better case. And so the Sixers could have possibly said, hey, maybe we don't think we're going to win this. Why don't we just settle and be done with it for now? But regardless, Kyle, it's like the optics at the end of the day, settlement, not necessarily even knowing what's in the settlement, it just makes the Sixers look bad, I think, because we all thought they had a strong case against a guy who didn't play a single damn game for him.
Yeah.
So now the 29 other NBA teams are probably looking at this and saying, hey, they settled with this guy and he got money out of it. So what's Kevin Durant thinking? What's Kyrie Irving thinking? So it's like, it just sets a precedent to me that's like, the players can pull some bullshit on their team and be, come out relatively unscathed and get a portion of their money for it. So to me, that was always the bigger picture thing. I just thought, like, I don't know the specifics about why the Sixers, pulled out and settled, but I thought, at least on paper, it looked like they had a really strong case if it went to an arbitrator. So
Yeah, I mean, it really could be just because they wanted to be done with Ben Simmons. I mean, they're trying to move on, or maybe now I'll put a little tinfoil hat on. Maybe the tampering investigation will go their way. Maybe we won't get fined, or maybe we won't get like the cap circumvented. Like, hey, just settle with Ben. I don't know why they would do that, why the league would do that, but just a little tinfoil hat. I'm just thinking of everything.
But they shouldn't want to, right? I mean, because think about this real quick. What was the best possible outcome here for the NBA at large and for Adam Silver and the owners, or excuse me, the governors? Like, would they not want the Sixers to go to arbitration and win the case? Because now they're going to have to go back. they're going to have to go back to the next collective bargaining agreement and address it so another Ben Simmons situation doesn't happen.
The only reason would be is the point you brought up is they fucked up. The Sixers did
Yeah,
something to fuck
yeah,
up, and
maybe.
that's why they have the
Yeah,
confidentiality agreement. I mean, because I think Kyle Newbeck wrote it. They stayed mum, the Sixers. A lot of stuff that was leaked was
yeah.
on the Clutch side.
Yeah, they
Um,
didn't say anything about it, and it's like I don't know procedurally what it says in the CBA about like escrowing a guy's money and withholding. Because remember, like he got the lump sum like upfront like part of his salary before the holdout and the
yeah.
mental health stuff started, before he got kicked out of practice and whatever. So then it's like, okay, are you allowed to withhold my money? How do I get my money back? Am I entitled to that money? So sure, it's a lot more complicated than most of us are making it realize. But I'm talking about, my take was always from like a big optics looking standpoint. It's like, hey, this is a win for Clutch, no matter how
Oh
you
yeah.
slice it, Yeah.
Oh, this is definitely a win. I mean, you're looking at. I mean, just think of like I don't know if Zion's a client for Clutch, but just look at Zion and Donovan Mitchell could be another guy. I mean, look at
Mhm.
KD right now. I mean, Zion's got to be licking his chops if he wants out of New Orleans. If Donovan wants out of Utah, like it seems like he does, he's got to be happy about this. Kevin Durant obviously sounds like he's going to be
Yeah.
sitting out, so
Yeah.
like he's got to love this. He's gonna he looks at this and he goes, "Hey, Ben Simmons won. Maybe he won't get his whatever he's owed this year, but
Yeah.
maybe he'll get a portion of what he's owed this year. I mean, I could
True.
see if they settled. I would, this is me not knowing anything, but like you have to think about at least 10 mil. You at least settle for half. Hey, here's
Yeah.
half, and we get
What's
half.
them to stop? What's them to stop from doing that? Because this
Yeah,
case didn't go to arbitration. So the precedent that has been set is that you can just, BS your way out of it and, probably settle with the team. You won't get all your money, but you'll get a portion of it. So we didn't really solve anything. We left it incomplete with another win for the players and for the agents, because from an optics standpoint, it looks like Ben Simmons did win this.